welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 114. The German automakers are feeling the pressure from Tesla, and Elon Musk offers to buy all of Twitter. And the plug-in market is growing faster than people thought. And Ark Invest has some new price target for Tesla, and it's looking good. And according to Tesla Q, I might not be real. And we now know how Tesla plans to handle the transition from the 2170 cells to the 4680 cells without the Osborne effect on the old version of the car that are still being produced. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
The German automakers seem to be feeling the pressure from Tesla. Firstly, Tesla was in Q1 2022 the best-selling BEV brand in Germany, despite Volkswagen saying they are catching up to Tesla and will be the leader in the EV race. Well, they are still far behind Tesla, even in their home turf in Germany. You have to combine Volkswagen, BMW and Mercedes BEV sales numbers to get up to Tesla's numbers in Germany. And that is with the Berlin factory only delivering cars for the last week or so. How will this look in Q2? And even though they are all talking about how they are all in on EVs and will save the world, their BEVs are not really ramping up as fast as we would expect. Mercedes actually seems to go the other way. Mercedes-Benz Group sold in 2021 an average of 24,825 BEVs per quarter, but in Q1 2022 they sold 21,900, and their BEV shares of their cars sold is still only 4.1%, the same thing as in 2021. So not really big moves from Mercedes here. And they are kind of changing their tune a bit on them going fully electric by 2030. As they say, by the end of this decade, Mercedes want to go fully electric everywhere, where market condition permits. So Mercedes-Benz will sell as many ICE cars as market conditions allows in 2030. That is pretty much what they're saying here. And they are not gaining on Tesla on their home market. Tesla is actually moving further away. They are losing BEV market shares to Tesla in Germany. Ouch. And BMW CEO is out saying, I can only conclude that BMW is severely undervalued. The stock market value is below equity, as if we had no future. Wonder why. But I can assure you, BMW has a good future. We are 100 years old and well on the way to successfully shape the next 100 years as well. Well, what does it tell you when the CEO of a company has to go out and tell you, we have a future? Just like Tesla, there's a company of outsiders using innovation to disrupt antiquated industry, one with some serious money floating around. Before I explain, take a look at this picture of Elon and his best bud Yusaku Masawa, who is going to fly around the moon on Elon's Starship, but who also recently purchased a painting by Jean-Michel Basquiat for $110 million. Believe it or not, this painting was originally sold for just $20,000 in 1984. With returns like this, it is no surprise billionaires from Jeff Bezos to Oprah Winfrey spend millions of dollars on art. But now there's a way that you and I can possibly make this art work in our favor with Masterworks, the sponsor of this video. The first platform to enable anyone to be a stakeholder in a famous artwork, multi-million-dollar masterpieces from artists like Picasso, Banksy, and like I just mentioned, Basquiat. Art has the lowest correlation to the stock market of any major asset class, potentially protecting you from any chaos in the stock market. It is no wonder that 85% of wealth managers believe art should be included in the wealth offering according to Deloitte. You can hop on this wave in only a few clicks with Masterworks, and it's so worth it. Although past performance is not a guarantee of future returns, of course, do your own research, but the 3 paintings they have offered and sold since 2018 2017 have realized a 30% return for investors. 30% is quite the number, especially in times like these. Now, some of you may remember I have actually talked about Masterworks before on this channel, but so many of you signed up that they want to once again offer my subscribers VP access, so click the link below if you want to join Masterworks and skip the waiting list. Elon Musk will not be joining the Twitter board, but might buy it altogether. Yes, Elon Musk will not join the Twitter board, maybe because they wanted to limit Elon in what he could say about the company in public, but Elon cares a lot about the truth, and Elon wanted to make this a platform for free speech, so if they're trying to limit his free speech, yeah, that is not really going to work, is it? So Elon actually made an offer to buy Twitter altogether. This is actually not the first time he's talked about this. Over 4 years ago, Elon tweeted that he loved Twitter, and Dave Smith wrote back, "You should buy it then." And Elon Musk wrote, "How much is it?" And now Elon is trying to do exactly that. Elon also made a poll about it because, as he wrote, taking Twitter private at 54.20, 420 should be up to the shareholders, not the board. And the poll was a pretty clear yes. But Goldman Sachs says Elon's offer of $54.20 per share is too high, even though Goldman currently has a sell rating and a $30 price target on the stock. So that does not make any sense whatsoever. And Fassad, who has worked at Tesla for 4 years, also wrote on Twitter a very good point. "Dear Twitter employees, encourage your leadership team to accept Elon's offer. You will be working for one of the best companies on planet Earth, which will be responsible for furthering freedom of speech to the entire human population. This is a big deal." Yes, I think it's a much bigger deal than people think, and we have never had a platform before where free speech is the core principle. But Twitter board did respond by adopting a poison pill plan to block Elon's takeover of the company. So this is far from over, and going to be exciting to see what this will end up with, because if Twitter board won't sell to Elon, he does have a plan B. As he just said in a TED talk he just did, when asked if there was a plan B, and he just said, yes, there is, but didn't want to clarify what the plan B was. I think this matters a great deal to Elon, so he will probably make a private company to compete with Twitter then. And with over 80 million followers, he could probably get that thing off the ground pretty quickly. And what will happen to Twitter? Well, we have to wait and see. If you want to know more, I can highly recommend the TED Talk Elon just did. They did talk quite a bit about the Twitter offer and much more. Definitely go check that one out. I will leave a link in the description down below. And Ark Invest has come out with their new price target for Tesla for 2026. And just remember, Ark was the laughingstock of the stock market when they in 2018 said they expected Tesla to go to $4,000 pre-split, and Tesla got to those numbers 2 years earlier. So who's laughing now? Oh yeah, that would be Ark Invest all the way to the bank. And here they go again. They have an expected target of $4,600. Their bear case is $2,900 and their bull case is $5,800 in 2026. And remember to compare these price targets to the old $4,000 price targets, we have to multiply these numbers with 5. So their bull case for 2026 is $29,000 pre-split numbers. But Ark also showed off their expected price target from 26 to 2030. So from just under $5,000 to something like $22,000 from where we are today at only about $1,000. And remember, Ark has not priced anything in about the humanoid robot, so if Tesla pulls off this within this decade, these numbers will probably be very conservative as well. Oh yes, we have only just begun. Tesla has only done a static fire test of their rocket now, and now they will start to fly to orbit, to the moon, and beyond. To the moon! And the plug-in market is growing faster than people thought. Surprise! The world is about to pass another important milestone in electric vehicles adoption. 20 million plug-in vehicles on the road globally come June, according to BNEF estimates. That's remarkable growth from just 1 million EVs on the road in 2016. The speed of growth is much faster than many incumbents in the automotive and oil industry were expecting just a few years ago. No, really. Like in BP's 2016 outlook, for example, the company expected a fleet of 71 million plug-in vehicles on the road by 2035. Based on the latest sales data, BNEF now expect that to be achieved by 2025, a full 10 years ahead of schedule. How would you look at that? It's happening a whole decade faster than people thought. Yes, you can't hide from the data. The road ahead is as clear as day, if you ask me. And just look at this chart. That, once again, shows us the beginning of an S-curve. And I know people are talking a lot about what about Africa and South America and so on. Well, we still need more of the affordable EV we are seeing in China to spread to the rest of the world, which they will. And I know people are still talking about ICE cars that will still be sold there for many, many, many years to come in these areas like South America. I'm not so sure. Firstly, as soon as they get an EV cheaper than an ICE car, it is all over. And remember, someone like Volkswagen has just been out saying they don't even earn money on selling their ICE cars in South America. So do people really think that Volkswagen will fight super hard to keep that market open for ICE sales when they are losing money already on it today, even before the demand drops out of the sky and everyone is going electric? I highly doubt it. And we continue to see the growth in China as well. Even though the car market did shrink about 10% in March, new energy vehicles was up 114%. Just look at this chart from Chinese new energy vehicle post. The growth is just pretty much a line going straight up. I think we will see more plug-ins sold in China here in 2022 than there were sold in the entire world last year. Last year there was about 6.7 million plug-in vehicles sold, and China sold about 3.3 million, up from 1.3 million in 2020, more than doubling. And I think we will see that again, so over 8 million plug-in vehicles in China in 2022 is my guess. So the plug-in market could very well become 20% of the overall car market here in 2022, in my opinion. Yes, Sherlock, it is happening very, very fast. And to all the haters and short sellers of Tesla that keeps talking about Tesla is doomed in China because of all the competition. Well, one thing is for sure. There is a lot of competition in China, and it is the fastest growing EV market in the world with an endless line of competitors. So how did Tesla do in March? Did they fall out of the sky with all this competition shooting for the moon? No, even though Tesla was locked down on the 16th and 17th of March, and again from the 28th of March and the rest of the months, Tesla sold 65,814 cars in March. So with the lockdown, they did that in pretty much just 3 weeks. Quite impressive. So Tesla grew 85.5% in March in China, despite the lockdown and all the competition. And when we look at the BEV market in China, Tesla sits on almost 18% in March. And Tesla expanded the expected time for Chinese customers to get deliveries and raised the price twice in early March, and Tesla is just shooting straight up for the moon in China. Nothing is slowing them down. Yeah, everyone saying Tesla is doomed in China, not doing very well, is simply just lying. Don't listen to them, just look at the numbers. Up, up and away. And Clean Technica made a little article about the electric car sales in the US. As they wrote, based on well-informed estimates of the US Tesla sales, the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3 dominated sales of electric cars in the United States in the first quarter of 2022, just as previous quarters. Furthermore, the Tesla Model S and X took the 3rd and 4th spot in the ranking. Embarrassingly, that means the first non-Tesla electric vehicle in the ranking was the 5th place, and that honor is going to the Ford Mustang Mach-E. So the Mach-E can't even keep up with the Model S and X units in the US, and it is supposed to compete with the Model Y. But even if you take the next 10 cars on the list after the Teslas, they will only just get above the Tesla Model Y delivery numbers. So the story is still the same, the others all have electric cars, but Tesla is selling them. But cool to see the Rivian R1T and Lucid on this list of EVs in the US as well, and we even find the Hummer EV down in the bottom, leading the way. And we have a new electric van coming from China that makes the ID Buzz looks slow and dull. It's the Chinese Voya, made by Dongfeng Motors Corporation, a Chinese state-owned company that is starting pre-sales of the Voya and had almost 50,000 pre-orders in just 6 hours. But it is also really something the Chinese people like. Packed with tech, pimped to the rim, and just look at that nose. What is BMW going to do now? They no longer have the biggest grille. But even though this is a van, it is not slow. It can do a 0 to 100 kilometers in just 5.9 seconds, but it still has over 600 kilometers of range. That is probably any DC range, but still pretty good for a van. The ID Buzz does a 0 to 100 kilometers in just 10 seconds. Not even the ID4, the ID3 has this kind of acceleration like this van. And this van is bigger than the ID Buzz, packed with more technology, almost twice as fast. Yeah, I don't think the ID Buzz will be that big of a hit in China as this pimped van. The ID Buzz is going to feel very dull compared to this bling bling electric van that should start around $60,000 equivalent. Yes, no matter if you like the look of this pimped van or not, there is no denying that Chinese is not kidding around and will make a lot of good electric vehicles to meet the crazy amount of demand they're seeing in the world's largest car market. So we have probably all heard about the Tesla Model Y coming from Texas with the new 4680 cells. But why is the range so little? We did see a tweet from Regan, a Tesla employee, that was one of the lucky first to get the new Tesla Model Y made in Texas with the 4680 cells. Oh yes, this is such a big deal, but the Model Y is a standard range all-wheel drive to be priced at about $60,000, set to launch in the next couple of weeks, probably at the same time as the earnings call on 420. It also has only 279 miles of range. It can do a 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. So you might wonder, why should I pay only $3,000 less than the long range and drop about 40 miles in range? Why not just get the long range? It is only $3,000 more, right? Well, that is probably exactly what Tesla wants you to think, because this is something we have talked about a lot. How would Tesla handle that they are coming out with a new version of the car with the Giga casting and the 4680 cells that in theory should be able to outperform the old version in every single way that is still being produced? They could end up with a big Osborne effect that no one wants their old version. The way that Tesla has done it is putting less batteries into the new version and giving it less range. So now it is no longer just a clear choice to pick the new one. Now the old version, both the long range and the performance, has something to offer you won't get with the new version. Such a smart way of doing it from Tesla. Plus, because they put in less batteries, they will be able to make a lot more cars with the same amount of batteries. We still don't know how big the battery pack is. If anybody knows, please let us all know down in the comments below. So I think this is a brilliant move from Tesla to make the transition between the old and the new, but not making the new too superior just yet. And let's get our weekly update about the Gigafactories. That means handing it over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Hey Lars. Well, in Fremont, the SNX overflow lot out by the track has cleared out real nicely. It's also important to note that at this site, things are generally quiet, real quiet looking, because this was shot the day before the Cyber Rodeo, and it's reasonable to assume that a lot of the employees were in Texas. In Shanghai, there's kind of nothing to report because the staggered shutdown has become a very real shutdown and nothing has happened, and there's no way to document it. In Berlin, the stamping pit is cleared out. It's empty. It's ready for construction, and there's additional clearing just to the north of it, suggesting there could be new buildings or at least new pavement in this area. The 4680 building is, of course, inching along nicely, and there have been new projects for drain works to the east and a road going in over there as well. In Texas, the north wall near the paint shop had a section removed, and it's already been replaced. The solar on the roof, spelling out Tesla in negative space, is looking pretty good, shaping up. And of course, in the northeast corner, piling work has begun on what we believe will be the cathode building, so that is something we're going to start looking at more intensely in coming weeks. Our correspondent in the field is still at Giga, Texas, still checking his phone, still looking for that invite. It's coming. It's coming. You keep the faith. On that note, I must have had a dozen of you slappers out there meet me in Texas and ask me if Lars is going to be there. And I sadly had to say no, but as your brand ambassador in North America, I have to say I'm very happy to be working with you. And I hope you can come out and join us next year at the Cybertruck delivery event. Back to you, Lars.
Yes, I will do everything I can to be there for the Tesla Cybertruck delivery event. That would be so awesome. And thank you so much, Brian, for working with me, and thank you for the update. See you next week. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. If you haven't seen the Netflix documentary about SpaceX's first manned-crewed mission with Bob and Doug, you have to watch that. If that does not inspire you, I don't know what will. And even Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, is in this movie. That was just so cool and so very well-deserved, Tim. And so cool to see a YouTuber you have followed for so many years suddenly being in a Netflix documentary. Just awesome. And Lucid revealed their new Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance version. That will be the one that can do the 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds and have a range of 446 miles of range. And a nice little price tag of $180,000, so about $40,000 more than the Tesla Model S Plaid. And the Los Angeles Times had an article about how Tesla has an army of Twitter bots, which is the only reason the Tesla stock is up so much. And people like myself are apparently just fake. And we all paid by Tesla to spread good news about the company. Oh my god, this is probably some of the lowest I have seen Tesla queues fall. Man, they are really getting desperate. Yes, I am of course biased towards Tesla because I own and love the products I have bought from them, and I think what the company is doing is just amazing and one of the best underdog stories of all time. That is why I do what I do. I don't get paid from Tesla, not even a single dollar. That is what the Tesla community is. We don't get paid by Tesla, we're just fans of the company. If you want to read the whole article, well, Stephen McRyan from Solving the Money Problem, another part of the Tesla community, did a whole read-through of this brain-dead article and roasted a few Tesla Qs on the way. So if you want to have some fun, I will leave the link to his video down below. And while Tesla turned on the Texas factory and will focus on scaling up, Ford will reveal some more concept of more EV models. Great. And Honda will spend $40 billion on the EV push and plans 30 new EV models by 2030. And Honda target full switch away from gasoline engine by 2040. Yeah. And as we learned last week, they will buy some powertrains from GM that is building about 400 EVs per quarter right now. So yeah, good luck with all of that. And we saw the new prototype of the Cybertruck using its back wheels when steering. This is going to be such a monster, and the pre-order list should be about 1.4 million right now. This is just nuts. And Elon confirmed on Twitter that Tesla will soon raise the speed limit for autopilot on the vision-only cars. Nice. And we saw a pretty funny sight this week. Tesla Raj shared a video of a Waymo robotaxi getting pulled over by the police. And Elon spoke on the Air Force Academy for future graduates. And Elon might not get the support of his own government, but he definitely got a warm welcome from these graduates.
CEO of Tesla, Mr. Elon Musk.
Yeah, definitely a lot of love sent Elon's way from these guys. And Ford announced it has officially started shipping production units of its all-electric e-Transit van to customers across Europe. Very nice. And Trev Page has been building and running the Tesla Owners Online for more than 7 years. He is now retiring. Tesla Owners Online will continue, but a big and special shout out to Trev for all the work he has done for the Tesla community and all the Tesla Twitter bots. Enjoy your retirement. And even though the EV market is growing fast, Porsche Taycan is not keeping up. Their global sales in Q1, their vehicle sales dropped 5%. In China, Porsche's largest market, went down 20%. And remember, as we just talked about, new energy vehicles in China were up 114% in Q1, but Porsche Taycan was down 20%. And apparently Tesla has filed for a trademark for a cyber backpack to go nicely with your Cybertruck. Nice. And one thing I also took away from the TED Talk that Elon just did was he was once again asked about full self-driving, and he is still very confident that they will have it working this year. So that is very cool that he is not changing his prediction on that. As I have talked about before, Elon and Tesla have seemed very confident in the way they have been talking about it lately and the things they have done. And we got one more little thing this week. As Tesla Andrew tweeted, you can no longer buy your leased Tesla in the US when leasing is ending. If you start your lease on or after the 15th of April 2022, you can no longer buy the car after end lease. That could be another indication that Tesla is confident in them making the full self-driving work this year and want those leased Teslas back to be part of their robo-taxi fleet. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Bruce M, Mai Tai and I, Vernon Coughlin. And I thank you for watching, members. Bert Knobius, PG Skretting, Simon J. Coyle, John Clark, Brian Reuter. MIB Nice and you are members. YouTube makes me do this. Thank you all so much for your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Andrew Goodman. Andrew is a best in Tesla superhero of mine and has been supporting me for almost a year now. Thank you so much for the support, Andrew. Please contact me on this email down below so I can send you your free t-shirt or mug of your choice. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. A little showcase of what Tesla has and what the legacy automakers have and how they try to showcase we have the same thing as Tesla. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.